A dab is firstly used to ink a copper plate on a heating table with a soft ground containing soot or petroleum jelly, which has the property of remaining soft after drying. Hence the name of the technique, soft ground etching. Next, the roller is used to even out the etching ground when it is still hot. The layer must, however, remain thin so that when it is pulled off, the artist can clearly and precisely see the surface of the drawing. The plate is left to dry for half a day away from the dust while protecting it with a sheet of cardboard folded in two. Next, the previously drawn design is traced on Japanese vellum or on tracing paper using different pencils ranging from hard to black. The ground sticks to the sheet merely by pressing the tips of the pencils. In this way, the lines are more or less thick. A lot of care should be taken in tracing the drawing because the etching ground stays soft. It is therefore important to protect the plate by using a palm rest. The ground is stuck to the tracing paper when the Japanese vellum is removed. The copper is laid bare by the pencil strokes and the grains of paper left in the ground give the impression of a drawing. Those grooves will be attacked by the acid and will therefore form the drawing. A bath of ferric chloride is prepared and the copper plate is immersed in it where it will be etched. In this case, the biting time is more or less 30 minutes. The acid is constantly stirred to eliminate the air bubbles. The bubbles could prevent the acid biting from being evenly applied. Next, any trace of ferric chloride is eliminated by rinsing the plate with water before cleaning it with plenty of white spirit. The ferric acid bath operation is started again as many times as you wish in order to obtain more or less deep grooves while protecting the other lines with the etching ground. The plate is inked when hot, that is, the copper is previously heated to allow the ink to spread more easily. This operation is carried out using a tool called a dab, or the ink is smeared onto the plate. Next, the ink is evened out with the roller. Tissue paper is used to wipe the surface of the plate when it is cold so as to remove the biggest part of the ink. The plate is then wiped with the tarlatan and finally tissue paper on a cleaner. It is given a final wipe with the nylon. This latter technique is also called pommage. Lastly, the plate is centered on the press. A moist paper is placed over it. A layer of felt is set over it all, and then the rollers of the press strongly compress the paper on the copper. The ink strokes are printed in reverse on the moist paper, so revealing the original direction of the drawing. The paper is set to dry under press between two tissue papers. To print a plate with several colours or with graduated shading, the coloured inks are prepared and then spread on the plate with the squeegee. The colours are arranged according to the areas that you wish to colour. The squeegee squeezes the ink into the grooves. Next, the ink is evened out and stumped with the roller. The plate is then wiped accordingly to the previously seen techniques using tissue paper and the tarlatan. The coloured ink is clearly visible in the lines of the engraving. Lastly, the plate is centred on the press. A moist paper is placed over it. A layer of felt is set over it all, and then the rollers of the press strongly compress the paper on the copper. The ink strokes are printed in reverse on the moist paper, so revealing the original direction of the drawing.